everyone, welcome to my allotment for another sowing video for September. As I said in my last one, it is quite a busy month for sowing and it's important to get the timings right. So this will be a sowing for a lot of things that I'm gonna grow under cover, either in my greenhouse or in the beds but under clear polythene cloche that I'm gonna make. So the stuff I sowed earlier in September is going to grow out in the beds unprotected for cropping before the real winter weather sets in. These I'm hoping are going to take me through the winter. Not much growth during the winter, but then in spring maybe a second lot of leaves, fresh leaves will come through. Yeah, so what I usually do, for some of them I sow in a tray and then I prick them out. This works quite well because you can then prick them out, choose the good seedlings and then plant them deep in a little module, so then you reduce legginess and they grow on really well. So from the plug then I plant out to where it's going to grow on. And for those things it's usually lettuce or Brassicas and other things. There are other things I sow in modules, but we'll get to that. So what I use is my own little seed mixture, which is just general compost mixed with vermiculite or perlite, and that is to break it up, make it more moisture retentive but without soaking it and leading to dampening off. So the main problem a lot of people have when they kill their seedlings or seeds don't germinate is because it's too wet. So you want it to be moist but not too wet. And perlite or vermiculite helps with that, with drainage, and also to make the compost a bit more poor, because seeds don't need all the nutrients to germinate. The seedlings will to grow on, but the seeds don't need it. If you can germinate seeds straight into vermiculite or perlite as well. Right, let's get into it. So the first slot is a romaine lettuce. It's actually my favorite type of lettuce, and yeah, I just haven't had any seeds earlier this year. I don't know why I just didn't buy any. Oh wow, they're just loose in here. All right, great. All right, so so the trick is obviously not to sow too many, but by keeping them in a little row, it'll be easier to distinguish them from each other. Or you can do, if you have a smaller tray, you can do 1/2 or even in thirds, and you can sprinkle them loosely. I do it in a row and then I can easily tell them apart when I come to prick them out. So this is romaine. So romaine will head into a nice, head that you buy in the shop, but I tend to pick them before they do that. There we go. So that's romaine. And let it fold this over. All right. Next one is just a mixed lettuce, mixed green, which I quite like. There's some seeds in there that are some of my favorites, so that's why I keep going back to this. The seeds are still good, so you can see. So they have, I don't know if you can see that, lots of different colors. Oh, and by the way, my glasses are broken, so if you wonder why my glasses are on a bit skew sometimes, that's why. I have ordered new ones, but they're gonna be a while, I think, as is always the case, but it'll be nice. These are like more than 5-7 years old, so completely worn down. That's good. I got good use out of them. Right, so that was mixed green. And right, let's see what else we've got. Let's do the spinach now. So I have two types of spinach. This is spinach mediana, which is just your regular green spinach. So I haven't had much spinach this year because the stuff I sowed in early spring just went straight to seed. I think I picked once. And the stuff I've sowed now, I didn't sow any for the summer sowings because it's just going to be the same problem. So the stuff I've sowed in end of August is still to be planted out. It's going to be planted out now. So yeah, still waiting for my spinach, but we'll get there. I mean, I'm sowing spinach now every time I'm sowing. So, and then I have from Seedcraft, it's like a subscription seed box. It's a purple spinach, Rubino F1. So these were gifted to me to try out the subscription box. And yeah, so they're a purple stemmed spinach, I should say. And I've looked at the seedlings I sowed earlier in September, and they got a slight tinge of purple to them. So we'll see how they compare against the regular green. You know, you shouldn't grow veg just because they're pretty. You know, you should like to eat them too, but there's no harm in it if they taste just the same. Spinach Rubino. And then, oh, there's another lettuce here. All right, so this is just a iceberg. This is a packet of free seeds I got, but they make nice little heads, which it's never been my ambition to grow iceberg lettuce, but it keeps giving me iceberg, so I always thought it was difficult to grow. But there you go. All right, sprinkle them in there. Oh, drop one. Well, I think that's it. Oh yes. My system is broken. Iceberg. All right, right. Now we get on to the cool, really odd ones. So I placed an order for some more Orientals that I've not grown before. And I know that maybe some of them should have been sowed before, but they're definitely best grown in colder temperatures. So depending on what the weather will be, they might be okay. So they're if it's too warm, or if the days are getting longer, they will be pushed into flowering almost immediately. So they're better sown now as the days are getting shorter. But yeah, so the first lot that I've already sowed earlier in September is just Mitsuna, and I've not grown Mitsuna before, and I thought I didn't like it because I thought I have tried it to eat it before and I didn't like it. So, but they're free seeds, so I'm gonna give it a go this year, see if I like it. They have germinated very well, obviously. But it's quite a good little producer of greens through winter, so hopefully that should give me some nice stuff. So there we go, Mitsuna. Right, so first one, well, I guess this isn't Oriental really. It's not at all actually. This is Claytonia miner's lettuce, or winter purslane. I guess it's as local really as it could be. An easily grown green with rounded crunchy leaves, native to North America but naturalized in Europe since 1749. The leaves and stems are great in salads and also nicely cooked. Yeah, so not very Oriental, but the other ones are, I promise. Or maybe not that one. Oh yeah, no, that one's probably from Italy. Oh well. There we go. Oh, there are tiny little seeds. It's like poppy seeds. Right. Let's see. Hopefully they will germinate fine. So this one should definitely be okay to grow outdoors. And oh, there's a seed there stuck on my thumb. Alright, that was Claytonia. And then we have something cool called San Marzano broccoli rabe, or turnip broccoli. And this is a smaller equivalent of sprouting broccoli from the turnip family. So you sow this one in July or August for harvest 60 to 80 days later. And says it will bolt from earlier sowings. And it's slightly spicy, I guess because it's a cross between a broccoli and a turnip. So it has that turnipy, radishy kind of spiciness. Yeah, so it's a bit late to sow, but you never know. And it's gonna grow on the cover, so it should be okay. And yeah, so I'm assuming these are best pricked out and grown individually. But oh yeah, I mean, they just look like brassica seeds, so I'm assuming that will be how they're best done. But they might be alright to multi-sow, so depending on how they behave, I might sow them differently next year. Right, let's see. That was broccoli rabe. If you didn't know me already, or my allotment, you might not know, but I love brassicas. Everything in the brassica family I like the flavor of. Right, so here we are. Vibrant Joy, which is a pak choi. So these, oh yes, vibrant shades of magenta, violet, purple and rose pink. Plants with varying color on the succulent petioles, veins and leaf surface. Great, I look forward to that. It's gonna be fun. Again, here you can see they're brassicas, brassica family. So I think a lot of these Orientals I'm gonna have to not only grow under cover with the polythene or under the cloche, I'm gonna have to cover with mesh, because the flea beetle will be after the leaves, and obviously slugs and all that will love them. So yeah, here we go. Soy sim, Japanese flowering shoot. This grows very quickly, giving bright green leaves and flowering shoots that are great cooked or raw. Fantastic flavor. Harvest small when it starts to flower. So because you wanting to eat the flower shoots, it isn't necessarily a bad thing that it would bolt if you grew it earlier. But you would get bigger plants, it says, if you sow after midsummer. Mid-June to August for an outdoor crop, September for a protected winter crop, which this is. So I think it should be alright. Again, like brassica seeds. And the good thing about brassicas is germination is usually very, very good. They just want to grow. And that was soy sim. Sorry, I got a bit of a cold. My child is at nursery, and yeah, anyone who's a parent know what that's like. So this is Wawa Kai Choi. Pardon me. This is I think the nickname for it was The Thing. So it's a unique plant from China where it is famous. The stem swells up, making lots of weird bumps. Used sliced in salads, cooked, pickled or stir-fried. So it is a member of the mustard family. And you should sow it now after midsummer, well after midsummer, whilst the days are shortening. Yeah, I look forward to seeing what it looks like. It's gonna be fun. again, you know, mustard, brassica looking seeds. And these are large, so I understand that the bumps on it can be quite spicy, so I'm expecting a flavor similar to a radish. Yeah, so I mean, we'll see if I will grow all these next year. But I'm having it's just a big trial really, everything on the allotments. And the last one is satsoi, and this is called ogi, and is a large satsoi that has been reselected in Eastern Europe for big flat heads of dark green oval leaves and good flavor. Again, it will bolt if you sow it too early, so best sown now, and if you sow in September it's for a protected winter crop. So I did know what I was doing when I when I planned what to sow now. Yeah, so I've ordered some clear polythene off Amazon. Oh no, I will. And it's 2 meters wide, so I'm gonna use that to cover them. So I'm hoping some of these things might be quite large, but I'm hoping it'll be enough to cover them. And no, I will learn a lot this year. So now I need to cover the seeds, and as I say in every video, the rule of thumb is just sort of the width of the seed, so barely covered. They will germinate even if they're poking out a bit, and some seeds even need sunlight to germinate. Yeah, let's see, here we go. Oh, and who forgot to label the last two? Well, it was that and that. Okay, that could have been disastrous, because I'm assuming, as all the seeds look very similar for the Orientals, that the seedlings will also look very similar. All right, oh, that's that. And now on to some multi-sowing. And 1, 2, 3. Right, so I have not filled this properly. I need all of these. So, well, you can watch me do that. So basically, you just shove as much of this compost mix in to each hole as you can, and you want to be quite firm, because they, contrary to popular belief, they like to root into a firm substrate. And also that means when you go to take them out to plant them, the root ball stays together and it's much easier to handle, so instead of it just being loose and falling apart. Right, so then I make a little indent where I'm going to put the seeds. Right, I'm covered in dirt. Right, so for these, I've got some just white Lisbon spring onion. And again, I've got 2 types of onion, and these are for growing undercover. So the ones I sowed in early September are gonna grow outside and should really have been sown in August, but we'll see how that goes. If it's a mild winter, they might overwinter no problem. So the white Lisbon, I'm gonna go quite dense. I think you can go up to 10. So I'm not gonna count them. I'm just sprinkling them in, and then once they've germinated, you can count them, and if it looks like it's way too many, you can then thin them. Or you can count, it's up to you. Depends how much time you've got. Alright, so that was white Lisbon, spring onion. And then the other One is redbeard bunching onion, a special bunching onion from China that has green leaves, a white shank and a pretty red base to the stem. It will divide as it grows. So it says to sow 4 to 5 seeds per module. So I'm going to do that. We'll see what these seeds look like. Exactly the same, just like the spring onions. So 4 to 5 seeds. Where's the... Again, it's just easier to count once they've germinated. Right. But yeah, redbeard. I just had to buy it. And redbeard. Right, so next up we have 2 winter radish. One is black round. I think it's a Spanish winter radish. Huge cooking radish, grows to almost tennis ball size. Incredibly easy to grow, just sow in July or later for pulling up all winter. So these won't be growing under cover, they'll just go out in the bed. So I've sowed some earlier in the end of summer. So this will be my second sowing. Those ones I multi-sowed. So I'm gonna go 3 seeds and or maybe go 4 seeds and then thin to 3. Yeah, I think I'll do that. So I sowed some purple topped turnips at the same time as these ones, and I noticed that they are forming, so not too long to go for some fresh turnips. Haven't had turnips since spring, so it's quite nice. And right, so this is green lubo. This is another winter radish from northern China, a mild winter radish with bright green flesh and a green-white skin. Do not sow in spring as it will run to flower when the days get hotter, sow after midsummer. So you can sow from you can sow from late February to September. Okay, but only, oh no, okay, so it's the same instructions as normal radish, that's why. Right, never mind. From June to September you should sow them. That's very confusing. Right, here we go. So I think, oh yeah, bigger seeds. I think I'll do the same for these. So we'll put 4 in. So with multi-sowing, some people don't like it at all. I like it in that I can sow them in modules and then just plant them out, and then when the bed is ready, as opposed to sowing direct where the bed needs to be ready sooner. And the way it grows in a multi-sown clump is that one of them or 2 of them will grow bigger first. So you harvest them from the clumps, and then because they are quite big, they will take water and nutrients from the other ones. So they're kind of held in check until you harvest the big one, and then the others get growing. So you have a longer season of cropping, which I like. I don't want, you know, for example, my beetroot or whatever, I don't want them all to be ready at the same time, because I don't do a lot of preserving. I like to eat them fresh, like roasted. So I don't want them all at once. So it works really well for me. So the last thing is flowers. So these are just forget-me-nots, and you can sow them directly in late summer. So it's a bit late now, but if I grow them on in modules in the greenhouse, and then pot them on and keep them like that, they should be possibly giving me some flowers. When I plant them out in early spring, they should give me some flowers then. Or I can just keep them in pots, for example, you know, for display, early spring display. I think that'd be quite nice. And I'm assuming really these should be singly sown, but I'm gonna sprinkle a few per module. They are tiny seeds and they self-sow readily, so hopefully I won't have to sow these again. So these are to go in my wild-ish flower area that is for the wildlife, also to look pretty, of course, but so hopefully these will just take care of themselves in future. All right, so let's forget-me-nots, and there we have it. So I hope these little videos are useful to you. I know you obviously haven't got the seeds for these crazy things, but there might still be time to get some. If not, they can go on your list for next year. Yeah, there we are. Oh, crazy wasps this time of year. I must water that because that last row of the forget-me-nots didn't get any water beforehand. So I always, again, water these from below. I don't water from the top because then I just risk flooding everything and the seeds going all over, and all the labeling is for nothing. And I will keep these in the house until I see the first seeds have germinated, and then I'll move them out here. So seeds don't need light to germinate unless there are specific seeds that need the light to germinate, but in general seeds don't need light to germinate. They need constant temperature. They germinate faster with constant temperature. So that's why sowing in modules and keeping them in your house will germinate the seeds faster than if you sowed directly out. So yeah, that's it. Let me know if you have any questions, and also what you're sowing now, if there's something I've missed out. You always feel like you're missing out. But I'm gonna leave you there, and I hope you have a great rest of your day, and happy growing.